boogity, boogity, get up on your feet.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the DW Show. And you know, now there are a lot of racetracks that we go to, and I like a lot of them. Matter of fact, I like most all the racetracks that we race on. But there's one that holds a special place in my heart, and that's Bristol, Tennessee. The high banks of a short track. It's how I grew up. I grew up on the high banks of Nashville, Salem, Indiana, Winchester, some of the really fast half-mile racetracks in the country back in the day. And the reason, people always say, well, so why did you have so much success at Bristol? First of all, I had a positive attitude. You see, a lot of drivers look at 500 laps at Bristol and they go, I hate that place. The race is too long. It's too hard. Listen, that's a challenge to me. The harder, the better. If you hate it, I'm going to love it. So the power of positive thinking, you got to go into that thing thinking I can whip this joint rather than it can whip me. And that place is whipped, the best of them. It's physically demanding, 500 laps. Think about it, my favorite thing is the cul-de-sac. Everybody's got one. Most everybody has a cul-de-sac in their neighborhood. Go out and ride around the cul-de-sac 500 times. Just see how it feels. Get an idea about what the drivers are dealing with. And then tilt it up at 33 degrees of banking. And now I'll go around 500 times. Oh, then by the way, invite all the neighbors over. Have them to come over and let's all get in the cul-de-sac and ride around together. All of a sudden, the degree of difficulty went way up. Kids on bicycles, kids on four-wheelers, some people walking, some people driving. I mean, it just gets really congested. That's the way Bristol is. 43 cars in that little bitty circle. You're always catching someone, whether it's a lap car or somebody you're racing with. Somebody's always pounding on you. Come on, man, let's go. Come on, move it. Get out of my way. So you're either running into somebody or somebody's running into you. And guess what happens when all these people start running into you? The old aggravation factor starts to go up. You get a little bump here and it's, that's all right, a little bump there, that's all right, hey man, you hit me one more time, it may not even be the same guy, but it doesn't matter who it is. Pretty soon you want to retaliate. And retaliation is a big part of what happens at Bristol. Somebody makes you mad, they get away with it, they go on, somebody else comes along, you make them mad, pretty soon everybody's mad, and pretty soon you got a mad house. And that's what Bristol is. It's a big mad house. Well, it's a little mad house. Nonetheless, mental aggravation, physical, you got to be in shape, man. That's why I got to be in shape just to do the dadgum telecast. I got to be in shape just to stand up there and call the race for 500 laps. Mental, physical, and then the noise. Gosh, at Bristol, you can't hear yourself. The guys in the pits, they can't communicate. They have to write notes, pass notes. The crew chief has to pass a note to his tire guy, to guys, holds up little chalkboards. Here's what we're going to do on the pit stop, because it's so noisy that you can't hear yourself think once the race gets going. So all the things, all your senses come into play. Your smell. Oh, the smell is, you get a gear burning up. That's a terrible smell. Tire smoke, engine smoke, all the things all that smell. So you got the smell. Your eyes are burning. You get a headache. This joint will give you a headache, I promise you. And your ears are ringing. And so all those things add into what makes Bristol so tough. It tests everything you've got. It tests you physically, mentally, emotionally. It tests your attitude. Everything that you can think of, every emotion that you can think of, it gets put on the line Sunday at Bristol for 500 laps. It takes a special guy. Got to be a wheelman. Got to get up on the wheel. Carl Edwards gets up on that wheel. Kyle Busch, he's on the wheel all the time. You're not going to believe this, and I hate to say this, but nice guys don't win at Bristol. You got to go out there and you got to be aggressive from the get-go. You cannot be patient at Bristol. You got to move people out of your way. You got to push to that goal line, to the 500 laps. And if the guy that can do that all day long, push, yeah, you're going to get knocked around a little bit. But you got to get it out of your mind and move on. You only got a little short. You know how long it takes to go down one of those straightaways? This is how long you got to rest. 2 seconds. 2 seconds on the straightaway, 2 seconds on that straightaway. 4 seconds a lap, you're in a straight line catching your breath. And oh, by the way, speaking of catching your breath, you got to remember to breathe. You listen to the guys on the radio Sunday, or when we're in the practice shows, when they're trying to talk on the radio, because you literally hold your breath. And so you got to remember to breathe. Let it breathe. That's what I say. Let it breathe.